Right, welcome everyone. Thank you for your time. I'm going to give opportunity for questions from the room, and then we'll go over to Zoom. And the table is open for questions. I've got Coach Hawies Fourie and our captain Victor Sekekete here with us today for the Currie Cup final on Saturday. Kickoff is at 4. Our gates open at 11, and the table is open for questions.
Hawies, seems to be a very nice vibe in the camp. Something I was missing a year ago before that semi-final. How's the guys taking finals week?
I feel it's a lot better than last year. Last year we struggled towards the back end of the competition. Took a heavy loss against Cheetahs, lost by a point against the Pumas, close to the semi-finals. So the confidence was a bit low. This year it's sort of the opposite. We went through a bad patch and then had the draw against Cheetahs and then 3 wins in a row. So it helps a lot for the confidence and the vibe in the camp. There's healthy competition in the squad, and I must say the non-playing squad training really well. Everyone bought in to the squad effort, which makes a big difference. If some guys sort of tend not to focus in sessions and make a lot of mistakes on the opposite side, then the quality of our sessions drops a bit. But this year it's high quality sessions, and that will help us towards the final.
You say high quality sessions now, but I'm sure at this stage of the season it's just a matter of just fine-tuning those little details. Taking last week's game into account, where are there 1 or 2 areas where you felt that maybe you still just lacked that little bit?
Yeah, there were some really, most of the game, say 70% of the game was really good, but we made a few mistakes on attack. On defense, we were lucky with that forward pass, which could have been a turning point in the game. And we conceded 15 penalties again. So that's the main thing, is we've got to concede less penalties. That gives the opposition entries into our 22 or shots at goal. So it will be vital to limit the penalty count this coming weekend.
And Vic, for yourself, when you were bulking up and pop as a youngster to play rugby, did you ever imagine yourself being a captain of a professional setup in a finals week?
No, I would say not even close. So that's why for me it's a very big privilege to captain such a side as the Cheetahs, and with the team that we have, the camaraderie that we have is amongst each other, and everyone buying into one plan. I think it's one of the best blessings that I could ever ask for.
And you've been on opposite ends of the result against the Pumas. Big win for you guys last week, and that perhaps just changed that season and got that rhythm back into the season.
Yeah, I think for us it's all been about process and process driven, and what we want to do and focus on ourselves. So especially after the Cheetahs game, it was more about focusing on ourselves. So I think from then on, we knew what we wanted to do, how we wanted to do it, and everyone was on the same page.
Hawies 3 weke gelede se wedstryd, dis totaal 'n ander wedstryd nou, maar van die goed wat na wedstryd gewerk het, sê jy weer op dit?
Ja, ek het gevoel in daai wedstryd het ons eintlik swak aangeval. Ons verdediging was baie goed en ons het baie goed geskop. So en gemol, die voorspelers het die Pumas onder druk gesit, en meeste van ons punte het daarvan af gekom. So dit sal weer vir ons belangrik wees om voor te domineer. Die Pumas het 'n baie sterk pak. Het gaan nie maklik wees nie. Baie fisiese span, hulle verdedig goed en jy kry nie maklik momentum en vinnige besit by die breekpunte nie. So fokus vir ons is breekpunte, om vinnig in te wees, om vinnige besit daar te kry, om spasie te kan aanval, en dan sal ons pakvoorspelers glo ek sal weer hulle kant bring, en met Roan of Sias op die bank het ons 2 baie goeie skoppers agter wat druk op hulle kan sit. So ou sal hou by die goed wat gewerk het, maar daar was ook goed in daai wedstryd wat nie goed was nie, en dit was veral ons aanvallende spel wat nie goed genoeg was op die dag.
Is daai wedstryd enigstens kan ek sê vir jou 'n pluspunt of?
Dit was goed om te wen daar. Ons het 'n hele paar verlore teen die Pumas in 'n ry gehad voor daardie ene. So dit was goed vir ons confidence om te sien ons kan Nelspruit toe gaan en ons kon daarom redelik nie ver wen nie, maar met 10-12 punte. Maar môre gaan daai wedstryd niks tel nie. Behalwe net dat hy weet jy kan dit doen. Verder begin ons almal op 'n skoon bladsy en elke span gaan 'n plan hê hoe om die wedstryd te wen en dit gaan maar afhang van hoe goed jy dit uitgevoer kry of nie.
Vic Pumas will concentrate on stopping the ball. I've heard some of the other camp that there will be special attention on the forwards and the ball. What are you guys going to, you know that's going to happen. What are you going to do different to?
Yeah, from us, that's what we're expecting. We're expecting them to try to stop the more hard. I mean, we're also going to more. They're going to have to stop us. So I think at the end of the day, it's not all about tricks or anything. It's about, for us, everyone doing their job as we want them to do it. So there will be opportunities. It's all about taking the opportunity at the time.
Just one more. Always, I've read quite a bit about it over the last few weeks. Is this Panie's swan song?
No. No, he extended for another year, so he will play for us for another season.
Fantastic.
Any questions from you?
All right. My name is Lebohang from Monkey State TV. Coach, I would like to ask you, what do you expect from Pumas? It's not just on Saturday.
Yeah, the Pumas is a difficult side to just try and say you expect this or that. They've got a lot of things that they can bring to a game. They've got a very good offload game, counter-attack really well, very good kicking game with Tinus and Devon, left and right-footed kickers, which makes it difficult, and a strong and a physical pack of forwards. So they can bring different things to the game. I expect them to be as physical as we know they can be, and to kick well and put a lot of pressure on us with their kicking game, kick chase, breakdowns, and their forward ball carriers.
Coming to you, Captain, by the time when the season started, have you ever seen yourself maybe you could qualify for the final?
Yeah, qualifying for the final was always part of it. I mean, every time we play as a team, the goal is always to reach the final, and we don't just play just for the sake of playing. I mean, even through last year, it was disappointment when we didn't make it to the final. I think we learned from that, and then we carry that throughout this year. I think that was a building block for us, and now we brought it forward, and we've achieved what we want so far.
As much as it's the final Saturday, what was the worst challenges that you guys met during the season for Currie Cup?
Well, for us, it was when we had the dip. I think it was coming back from that. So once you get a loss, it's coming back from the loss and learning your learnings. You have to actually notice what you did wrong and take it into account and fix it. So it's either you fix it or you dip again. But with us, we learned our lessons, we acknowledged it, and we fixed it, and we went forward.
Okay.
Always slot steke, dis al niks uit my. Dis die enigste.
Nee, wat
Kan
hy
maar toe
sorry.
daar speel.
Ja, ek was nou by hom voor 'n kop gekom. Dis fyn.
All right, we go to Zoom. I'm sorry, I can't see all the participants. If you can just say your name, then you can go ahead.
Renel, Jannie. So, Hawies, just to touch on, go back to what you said about Ruan. Obviously, you just touched on the fact there's lots has been said about him in the last year. And obviously, he's going to play a big role on Saturday in the final. But what do you expect of him? What sort of role will he be playing in the next year now that he's signed for another year?
Well, the same as this year. He's still enjoying his rugby, and he's a very competitive person. So he will want to finish his career on a high. He won't just play for money or whatever. He will give his weight to the Cheetahs, give his input. He's an experienced guy. We all pull him in when we have conversations of what to do and how to do things. So he will have the same role as this year. He will support Victor. He will be the leader of the backs, and obviously on the field, he can play 9 and 10, and he will be the sort of the general on the pitch as well. So nothing different from the past season.
Thanks. If I can move to the game itself, you also spoke a lot about after the Toulon game. what is a different approach from towards a Toulon game and what you're doing this week? What lessons, without giving state secrets away, but what lessons have you taken aboard that you've changed your approach this week?
Yeah, I think it's two totally different teams that we play. The Toulon team moves the ball over the pitch, and they play a fast brand, an attacking style of rugby. I expect the Pumas to play the same sort of game that they played against the Sharks, a pressure game, forwards dominated, and a lot of kicking. So it will be totally different, and the pressure is different. The Toulon game we played to stay in the European Challenge Cup and to go one further. This one is the last game in the Currie Cup. If you lose, sort of will feel disappointed about the season. So there's a lot to play for us, a lot of pressure on both teams. They are the defending champions, so there will be pressure on them to retain the cup, and we will definitely give 100% to try and win it. We've let ourselves down last year, and as Vic said, we learned our lessons and we are well prepared for this one.
Victor, one from me. How do you keep the guys calm this week?
For us, I think it's all about process. If everyone follows the process that we have to do, then there's calmness. And then it's also under pressure. If we do what we have to do under pressure, then no one is erratic. And then for me, it's also easy. And for Ruan, then it's easy to talk to the guys. But once we don't get that, then it becomes a bit difficult. But fortunately for us, we've been through those scenarios. We've been through scenarios where there's a lot of pressure, and we've seen how we have to deal with it.
Liam?
Hi, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for the time. Hawies, I wanted to ask you, to what degree have you been, I don't want to use the word motivated, but sort of driven to correct the wrongs of last year's Currie Cup in this campaign? I mean, is it something that sort of weighed on you, and it's something that you sort of want to atone for this year?
It was tough on all of us, especially on me. That loss in the semi-final wasn't easy to get over, but at some time you've got to let go and make peace with it and start to work towards the next campaign. So we learned lessons, and we know what didn't work for us. We started with the new process end of July last year, so it's 11 months further, and one of the big things was conditioning. So I think we are really well conditioned. The guys are stronger and fitter than last year, so that will help us a lot. We faded towards the end of the second half in the semi-final this year. I think we played something like 15 or 16 games. We've only lost the second half once, and that was against the Sharks in the rain in Durban. So we've got a lot of confidence in what we do and how we do it. And yeah, it was a long process to get to where we are and to be a better team than we were a year ago. So it's not a thing that you fix in a week or think about just before the semi-final. We started to work on rectifying what was wrong from July last year already.
And it's just from if you look at preparing a team for semi-final compared to preparing a team for a final, what do you think are the fundamental differences for you?
No, it's sort of the same. The semi-final for me has got a bit more pressure than the final, because everyone wants to get to the final, but you can't get there if you lose the semis. In the final, it's a 50-50. Any team can win it, but you will feel you achieved something. But the pressure of a semi-final for me is a bit more, especially after what happened last year. So we are sort of over that hurdle. There's still a lot of pressure on us for the final, but it's good pressure. It's pressure that will bring out the best in everyone in the team, and we know how to handle it. As Vic said, we were under pressure in a lot of games. We were behind at halftime, came back in the second half and won those games. So we will draw on that experience when the going gets tough on Saturday.
Thanks.
Nog 'n vraag?
Thank you very much, Ronald. Hawies, good afternoon, Victor, and congratulations for getting to the final. Just looking at playing staff, Hawies, are you able to just give us an idea of where Frankstein is from a fitness perspective?
Yeah, Frans injured his knee early in the season and he had to undergo a operation onto the knee or surgery, and yeah, he's still on the rehab process, so he's out for another few months. So he definitely won't be able to play.
And just talk to us about the importance of a Ruan Pienaar. I mean, Ruan Pienaar's evergreen, a scrum off, fly off. He's pretty much, when the occasion has mattered for the Cheetahs, is rocked up. How important does he become? And at what point does he call it a swan song?
Yeah, no, Ruan is a very important guy in our team, especially now playing at fly off, running the show, making the decisions and executing them. There's a lot more calmness and decisiveness in our back line with Ruan at 10, so that made a big difference. But he and Victor are the two main leaders in the team, and they did a very good job during the season to get us to where we are at the moment. We went through some tough times, and they kept their heads and made the right decisions on the field and kept the guys together. So yeah, Ruan plays a big role with Vic. They are very important to us, and guys like Robert Everson with a lot of experience. He's on the bench, and Jandre Rudolph for the forward. So we've got good leaders on the bench that will finish the game and be on the field in that last 20 minutes, which also makes a big difference. That's always the pressure time in the game, and a lot can go right or wrong in that 20 minutes. So it's important for us to have good leaders, calm heads, and experienced guys on the field.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay.
Yes, sorry, obviously, if I can just ask one more follow-up to the Frans Steyn question. You mentioned that he's out for another couple of months. I mean, that puts him out of the World Cup. Is that a definite, or is there still a faint hope that he might recover, that he can probably play a game or two in August?
Yeah, Jan, that will be difficult. I can't see it happening, but miracles might happen. He himself isn't confident that he'll be able to play really soon again. He can't jog even at the moment, so it's a long way to get back onto the field and play at the standard that's good enough to go to the World Cup.
Thank you.
There was another hand.
Maar as
Daar's 'n person.
Maar as good afternoon coach, good afternoon skipper. Hawies, kan ek jou vra? Net jammer vir my onkunde. Ek weet seker nog vir my aanvanklike vraag vra. Jy was nie deel van die klas in 2019 gewees nie.
Nee, ek was toe op Stellenbosch gewees. So Franco Smit was toe die afrigter toe hulle gewen het in 2019.
Dat was wel 2007.
Ja, 2007 was ek hulpafrigter saam met Naka Drotsky. 2019 het Franco afrig toe die Cheetahs die Currie gewen het.
Kom ek vra nou so as 'n opvolgvraag net om te na antwoord jy gegee het. Is daar enige lesse wat jy uit jou ervarings kan leer, die een wat jy betrokke was en die wat jy nie betrokke by was?
Wel, die een wat ek nou nie betrokke by was nie, dink ek nie kan nou te veel goed leer nie. Ek het daai wedstryd geleen kyk in die hospitaal, ongelukkig. So ek was siek geweest in daai tyd en vir 'n bietjie meer as 'n week in die hospitaal geweest, net baie bly geweest dat die Cheetahs omdeur getrek het, maar 2007 het ons die algehele favourite gewees. Ons het teen die Leeu's gespeel hier, so baie goeie span gehad, en ek dink ons het een wedstryd daai seisoen verloor teen WP op Nieuweland met 10 of 11 punte. Die res van die wedstryde almal gewen. En daar was baie druk op ons omdat ons so baie wedstryde gewen het en eintlik nooit verloor het nie. Baie swak begin in die wedstryd en ons het in die laaste 20 minute teruggeveg. En net gewen met 'n baie goeie doelskop van Willem de Waal van die kantlyn af. Maar ja, die les wat ou daai het leer is jy moet jou teenstander respekteer. Jy kan nie enigiets vir granted vat nie. Albei spanne gaan hard gaan om die wedstryd te wen en finale is gewoonlik maar wedstryde wat die telling klein is en naby is en so aan. So dit is die span wat die druk die beste gaan hanteer en die span wat sy plan die beste gaan uitvoer, die het die beste kans om te wen op die dag.
Maar ek net so 'n laaste vraag dan vra. Ek moet vir jou sê, Rassie Erasmus het baie lof vir julle twee spanne wat gemaak het tot in die finaal meneer. Kan ek vra, is daar 'n vrees dat emosies in so 'n groot wedstryd, 'n tuiswedstryd, moontlik die oorhand kan kry oor julle as leierskap en selfs die spelers op die veld self?
Ek glo nie so nie. Ons het deur 'n lang seisoen gekom en ek dink die wedstryde in die Europese kompetisie het ons baie gehelp om op 'n hoër vlak mee te ding en al die wedstryde was weg van die huis af, so dit was nie maklik nie, maar ons het dit goed hanteer en baie geleer daaruit, baie gegroei as 'n span. Ons leiergroep in die span het gegroei, so daar's nie vir my 'n rede hoekom ons te veel emosie met nie. Ons het daaroor gepraat in die week. Dit is belangrik om aangeskakel te wees wanneer jy oefen, wanneer daar meetings is, wanneer jy opdraf om te speel, maar is ook belangrik om tussenin af te skakel en jou kop weg van die wedstryd af te kry sodat hy nie te emosioneel is nie. Ons maar 'n fyn balans as jy bietjie te veel het of 'n bietjie te min, dan is dit nie goed genoeg nie. Maar ek voel ons het verlede week en eintlik die week voor dit teen die Bulle op Loftus was maar baie dieselfde. Dit was eintlik maar soos 'n kwartfinale gewees. Ons moes wen om ons 'n kans te gee om bo te eindig en ons kon dit regkry. So ek dink ons het die balans mooi gekry hier na die einde van die kompetisie toe en die ouens weet waar hulle sweet spot is, as ek dit so kan sê, om wanneer is jy presies reg ingestel vir 'n wedstryd en wanneer is jy bietjie overeager of te min. So ek glo ons weet waar dit is.
Ja, maar Anders, before I ask the skipper a question, Bobby, is jy gemaklik met die skeieregter vir die wedstryd?
Vir my of vir Victor?
Vir jou, Afrika.
Ja, nee, ons het 'n keuse gehad tussen 3 skeieregters. Zwengile Jadazweni was ons keuse gewees. Ek dink waarskynlik die Pumas sinne ook. Hy's 'n baie goeie skeieregter. Hy's lekker kalm in die wedstryd. Daar kom nie snaakse beslissings van sy kant af nie en ek dink albei spanne sal tevrede wees dat hy aangestel is om die wedstryd te beheer.
Thank you, Coach. Skipper, can I just ask you just one question, maybe a similar question to what I've asked the coach? So, is there a risk, as from a player's point of view, that you guys could become too emotional of this big clash? And just based on, I know you guys want to focus on yourselves, but just based on the Pumas' performance this past weekend in Durban against the Sharks, are you guys a bit wary of the visitors coming this weekend?
Can you repeat the question? I'm not hearing so nicely.
Sorry, my apologies. So, Skipper, I was just asking a similar question that I asked the coach. So, is there any risk of emotions getting the better of you guys this coming weekend ahead of this week clash? And just based on the Pumas' performance this past weekend in Durban, are you guys concerned that the visitors could come with a bang this weekend?
Yeah, with regards to the Pumas' performance, I think they played how they played because they wanted to play that way. I mean, it's a semi-final, and like Coach said, both 4 teams have a 50% chance of making it through. So how they played won't influence us much. I guess with us, it's all about sticking to what we want to do against them. And then with the emotion side of it, I think we are a mature enough team by now to know what we have to do and when we have to do it. And then we have the right principles and the right system in place to guide us to what we need to do.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you, Ronald.
Dankie. Is daar nog enige vrae van die room?
Ja, sorry.
Ja, Ronel, sorry, ek weet nie of Hawies of jy kan antwoord nie. Is daar enige aanduiding van kaartjieverkope? Hoe loop die kaartjieverkope?
Ja, aan die kaartjieverkope vorder fliks. Ons was gistermiddag hier by 14,000 rond kaartjies verkoop, net toe ons kantore gesluit is. Ek het nog nie 'n nuwe syfer nie. So die kaartjies vorder fliks. Ons het nog omtrent 25,000 om te gaan om vol te maak. Hierdie stadion is groot, maar dit is 'n goeie syfer vir 'n maandag. So ons sal nou sien hoe dit vandag gegaan het.
Dankie. Dankie, Hawies. Thanks, Victor.
Dankie, Morgan.
I asked Hawies last week, as a captain, have you got a message for the supporters?
Yeah, like I said during the week, for the guys, as a team, we see ourselves as family, and we know that us being a part of Bloemfontein, people coming out to the game, for us it means a lot, and having everyone in the stadium with the vibe picks the guys up. I mean, it's a great feeling to see everyone enjoying in the stands and to see that the influence that we have. I know as players, we get a lot of messages, we get a lot of people interacting with us when we're outside of the field, and we appreciate that. That's why for us, it means a lot that people of Bloemfontein come out in the numbers so that we can keep the cup in Bloemfontein.
Thank you. Baie dankie.
Okay.
Sorry,